Happy New Year, Happy New Decade. This morning, I like to talk to you about this new decade. So, how did you live your past decade and what are your resolutions for the new decade? I think it's a good idea when we start the new year to sit down and reflect on the past decade, 2010 to 2019, and see what went great, the things that went great, and what didn't work well for us, and what are our goals for the new decade, and what we want to achieve this first year of the new decade. So this morning I like to share with you how I live the past decade, and I have my notes here just so that I can remember everything. So from 2010 to the end of 2019. Well, for the first half of that decade, I struggle as a new wife, a young mother of two at that time, and a new graduate without a job. So from 2010 to 2014, though I have struggled with in those areas of my life, and at the same time we accumulated a lot of debt as well. And as a young wife, we got married, my husband and I, right before 2010. So it was just at the beginning, and we struggled a little bit understanding each other, and then the kids came too between their first half, and at the same time I graduated, which was a good thing. I graduated with my second master's degree, but I didn't find a job, and I work minimum wages, part-time minimum wages, because I didn't want to stay home. So when my husband is back from work, I'll go to work, or I'll go to work early and then I'll be back before he goes to work. So and working part-time minimum wages, we couldn't make ends meet. So we struggled financially during that first half, and we accumulated from 2010 to 2013. Right before 2010, my husband got $12,000 credit card debt from a scam. A few months before 2010, and even now, a few months before 2020, he was victim of identity theft, and now has $15,000 credit card debt as well. So right before the decade and right before this new decade, we found ourselves in credit card debt. So right before 2010, he has that $12,000 credit card debt, and then between 2010 and 2014, with our small income, and I believe our income was about $30,000 a year combined with two kids, and I use my credit card to buy food, basic food. We didn't go out a lot. We go out a few times, but very rare. And I was now frugal. I didn't know about frugality at that time. And I used credit card to buy food, but I could have done better if I know how to shop sales. So, and I used credit card to purchase clothes for office in case I found a job, like those clothes, and it was not a good purchase. It was not good purchases at that time. It was a mistake. And I use credit card to purchase clothes diapers because I wanted to clothe diaper kids to go natural and save money. So I use credit card for those purchases, and I didn't have enough information how to purchase those clothes diaper without spending a lot of money. So I made a lot of mistakes buying those things, and I found out later that I could have done it better, and I made some changes. And I have a post on that as well. I have a recording on that to show how you can clothe diaper on budget. So during that 2010 and 2014, we have about, let me see, I think I noted down here, $30,000. No, we have $26,000 credit card debt in 2010. So between 2010 and 2013, that 26,000 of credit card debt, my husband has $15,000 of tuition student loan, and he leased a car that cost $22,000 at that time. So between 2010 and 2013, we have a total of $67,000 debt, consumer debt. And our income was about $30,000 a year. And I have a post on my website on that, and I'll link it below. And I believe it's a New Year financial resolution that I wrote in 2018, and I listed all that. And I have another post how we paid off our insecure debt. I believe in 2017 or 18 that I wrote that. I'll link it below as well, where I explain those struggles. So those are the debts that we have between the first half decade, 2010 to 2014. So, and then during that first decade as well, I became citizen as well, right at the middle of that decade. So now, I will talk about how I struggle as a young wife, mother, as a young mother or two, a new graduate without a job, and then the debts. So those were my struggles, or the problem we went through for the first half decade. Some good things like my graduation and my citizenship and the birth of my children, and I have the third one right in the middle of the past decade, and one of them was born in the car on our way to the hospital. Another one was born at home. I didn't make it to the car, and another one was born at the hospital, but was delivered by the nurse because the daughter was not even ready. And one of them I delivered myself, and one of them my husband delivered. So yeah, those have been those emotional moments, happiness in our life, as well as some struggles, some pains, and some debts. Now move to the second half decade. Well, I found a job and our income went up, and we decided to start paying off our debts. So for the second half decade, it was about me balancing my life as a wife, a mother, my career, and as a business owner. So I created multiple businesses during the first half decade, and my businesses took a back seat because I have the kids to take care of, and I have to take care of the house. We purchased a house around the same time, right before the beginning of the second half decade. So, and even if I didn't include the house. in the first half when I was talking about the debt. But yeah, we purchased it right in the 2014, right at the end of 2014. So for the second half, me trying to balance my life as wife, mother, business owner, and having to take care of my career as well, having a job, there was some struggle right there as well. Try to find time for everything. So my businesses took a back seat, and we focus on paying off our debts. We pay off the credit cards debt. I believe between 2017, around 2017, we became very serious about our debt. We decided to live on one income and use one income to pay toward the debts. And by that time, we have about $500 left on my husband's credit cards. We pay quite a bit. We pay off mine within, right at the beginning, between 2015 to 2017, we pay off mine, and we pay off quite a bit of my husband. So the second half has been a time where we focus a lot on paying off our debt, and we pay off the credit card debt, the tuition loan, and my husband car that he leased. In 2015, he decided to return it to get another one with a loan, and at that time he has $10,000 left on that car that he leased. So I just told him, we just stay with that car, we just keep that car and pay off. So he took a loan for that car for about $11,000, something like that. In addition to his tuition, I believe his tuition at that time was about $15,000 or something like that. Yeah, I would think so. So we $15,000. I think by 2017 it was about 10,000, and the car loan was about 10,000, and we have the credit card. So we're not relying on the credit card because we pay quite a bit right after the first decade, the first half decade. So we have that car that we pay off, the tuition loan we pay off, all the credit card that we pay off, that's $67,000 debt all off between the second half decade. And then we have the house. We pay over half the mortgage of the house during during the second half part of the decade as well. So those are the things that we accomplished during the second half decade, and that's that. So for the new, I'm just trying to see if I cover everything here. And for the new year, the new decade, well, I have resolutions for myself. I have resolution, and I have goals that I set for myself. And one of the goals, I will structure it this way. So as a mother, because I talk about me being a wife, mother, I have a career and I have businesses, and then we have our debts that we pay off. But then few months before the new decade, there was that scam again, $15,000. It cost us more than $18,000, but $15,000 on credit card. So we have that credit card that we will pay off. That's one resolution. Another resolution toward that is no more scam debts in this decade or going forward. So that's something we learn, and that's one resolution right there as well. And we, as a mother, will try to be a good parent for my children and help them discover who they are, who they are meant to be. So I'm going to teach them about frugality and how to be the boss of themselves, not just learning to be working for somebody, but how they can work for themselves as well. So learning about multiple streams of income. And I will, there's something I wanted to say about the kids, but yeah, I'm raising adults, so I will try to help them discover who they are. By the end of this new decade, they will be young adults, between teenagers and young adults. So by the grace of God, yeah, they are growing very fast, So as a wife, I'll try to be more supportive of my husband and not try to change him. We are all different, and we just had to learn to accept each other and be supportive of each other. So that's another resolution right there as well. And with my husband and I, because we decided very early not to take the kids to daycare, but just to work different shifts so that we can take care of the children ourselves and spend more time with them. By making that decision, it has been a little bit difficult because we don't see each other much unless he's off and I'm off. But so when you make that decision to work different hours so that you too can take care of your children, keep that in mind, that will have an impact on how often you and your spouse interact. So, and then because we are trying to pay off our debt during this past decade, we didn't travel or take vacation or have a day night or anything like that. So for this new decade, I don't know if we'll plan on some vacation for the whole family. I don't know. We are thinking about maybe might be business trips. We will see, because my children are shareholders of some of my businesses as well, and my husband is shareholder of most of the businesses. So we might organize some business trip. I don't know. We will see. It can be a possibility, depending on how our business is, the way they progress. It might happen, but we'll try to see how we can spend more time together as well, because the kids are growing, and it's something that we focus on ourselves as well. So I will try to think about that more. And as a business owner, this new decade, if my business will succeed, I'll make that happen. My business is not going to take the back seat. I'm going to focus on it. Before I decided to just go a little on it, by the time I retire, I will have, the business will be prosperous enough to support us. But I think if the business is a good idea, I have multiple ones, but if they have a chance to succeed, I will make that happen. And I'll start working on it. When I start this new YouTube channel, I start working hard on it, and I just made that resolution right before the end of 2019. And I will make all my businesses succeed this new decade, to see where we are going. So, and we decided we like rental property, so we might focus on that as well during this new decade. And those are the resolutions. And I talk about the debt, no more scam debt. We might have a business debt when we go into rental properties, but we'll be very wise when we make decisions. But as of consumer debts, I think we learned a lot from this past decade, and that was the decade that we got ourselves into a lot of consumer debt. We learned from it, we paid them off. We still have that $15,000. We have about $10,000, I believe, or a little bit more than that. Maybe $14,000 left to pay, but we'll pay off, and we have the other half of the mortgage for this house to pay off as well, that we are targeting. So we learned a lot from this past decade, and we made resolution for this new decade. And I don't know about you. How did you live the past decade, and what have you decided for this new decade? I wish you a happy new year and a happy new decade. And most of all, I wish you health, because when there is health, anything else is possible. So for all of us, I wish good health for us and for our families, for your families, for my family, and for all of us. happy new decade, good health, and set goals and achieve them. Thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Ojune Marie-Ninette Liberman, creator of Marie-Ninette Liberman's YouTube channel and owners of Nina Soap. And my website is ninasoap.com.